before we delve into the elephant in the room, what do you think about the hair, the makeup? I know it's improving, but we're getting there. It's taken me a long while to kind of talk about this. I know most of you expected this video, but yeah, here we are. I'm ready to share it all. Hello guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. It is your favorite baby girl, Mama Dinah Ekueme, in the building. And today, where do I start? Because I know there are people who started following since this whole Saudi journey. There are people who didn't know me way back in Port Harcourt. But if you followed me through middle of last year until now, you would know that around October, I did insert an IUD. I got an intrauterine device, that's a contraceptive, a form of birth control, to stop myself from getting pregnant. Because the kids you're seeing, if you've been watching some of my vlogs, you would know that if my husband coughs after her, I will get pregnant. If he just says hello sweetie, hey, just the hey, not even the hey, bam, 9 months, I don't born. So I had to do something about it. I mean, the first and the last was planned. I know I'm making it dramatic, but the first and the last was planned, but the middle child wasn't planned. So every year they born, I've not enjoyed marriage. It's just been children. So I had to do something. I did my research. I researched extensively. So for those of you who would come and say, oh, didn't you know, cool down, calm down, we're not, if you're a Georgina, please don't comment, please, not to hurt my feelings, just don't. So I started doing my research, because let's be honest, this IUD thing, it can be scary. I've heard women say that they got the IUD and they developed symptoms that they never had before. Some people complain of bleeding, some people headaches, some people abdominal issues, some people said that later in life they developed cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, some form of cancer. So it's scary to even want to consider putting this in your body. So I had to do my research. I looked up the pills, I looked up the one that you would put in your arm, I looked up everything, and I thought, okay, which one would be suitable for me? I chose the copper IUD. For those of you who do not know, I'm not a doctor, please. If you need any medical advice, if you need to confirm anything, if you need factual information, you know who to go. So please don't come and say this is wrong, this is right. Please, I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying based on my own research and the little understanding that I have. With the copper IUD, yes, you insert it into your body. It's not the pill, because I thought of using the pill and I felt like maybe I may not even be consistent, and I hate drugs. I hate drugs. Give me injection. I would rather take all the injections in the world. Don't give me drugs. I hate drugs that much. So I just didn't bother with the morning after pill. Is it morning after pill or everyday pill? There are different types, yeah. And I heard that the pill one, most women say they develop cancer with that. Some of the brands, not all. There was so many scary stories about the pill one, so I just said, abort. Then there was Mirena, is it Mirena or Mirena, something like that. Issues. Some people said yes, they don't see their period, you don't get to see your period, but every once in a while you get clotting, you get spotting, you get hormonal, you get agitated, like so many stories. There wasn't anyone that I researched that did not have one effect or the other. In fact, let me just tell you, pump and clear, all of the IUDs, birth control pill, morning after, all of them, there is an effect. It's for you to borrow again the particular one that you know you can endure, the particular one that you feel like the effects are not much like that. It's not going to pose as a problem to you. You will probably be able to overlook or endure all, I believe all. And even if they say that it doesn't have any effect, most women I've seen nowadays on TikTok, they say after so many years of not having any symptoms or whatsoever, they suddenly develop cancer of something. It's scary. Like, let's not go into that. But I ended up choosing the copper IUD. Why? Because it's non-hormonal. Me as a woman like this, I'm already a hormonal being. I don't know about you. Sometimes my mood they switch, especially it got worse with pregnancy, breastfeeding, the periods where I know I'm highly hormonal. I can be watching something, I'm crying. Someone can tell me something, I'll start shedding unnecessary tears. Things make me unnecessarily emotional when I'm breastfeeding, when I'm pregnant. So I know all my life I've never been as emotional as I've been throughout the 3 years that I carried babies and gave birth. It's been the peak. I would say peak. I used to consider myself like things don't get to me like that, but pregnancies made me realize how emotional I can be. Little things start getting to me, I react unnecessarily, I start factoring in a lot of things, that just blowing things out of proportion, especially pregnancy period. So I didn't want to add to that. I already know myself when I'm emotional, when my hormones are all over the place. So I just went with something that wasn't, it's not going to bother me, it's not going to disrupt the hormonal system in my body. So the copper IUD gives you that advantage. It's a non-hormonal IUD, and the doctor explained everything. Most of you know I shared a video. I'll still link the video in the description area, how everything went from going to the doctor to having the procedure done, and it was quick. Within 10 minutes it was done. Yes, I felt pain, but the pain did not last more than 2 to 3 minutes. Just the opening of my vagina, inserting the thing. When they inserted it, I didn't even feel it. And yeah, the whole time that I inserted that up until December, I would say, because my husband returned November, we moved here December. Up until December, I had no symptoms. I was updating you guys on YouTube, no symptoms. The only thing that I experienced was, that day I felt abdominal cramps. So I took Tylenol. I took a form of paracetamol that day, and after 24 hours I didn't feel it again. I spotted that day as well, obviously because there was a procedure done. After that whole period, after October, November, December, nothing. The only major thing that I noticed was an extra 2 days added to my menstruation. I bleed normally. Before pregnancy, I bleed 5 days. 5 days I bleed. So having to have inserted that, and my period returned, and it was just 7 days, no more 5 days. That looked abnormal, but I knew that all these things were explained to me. The extra bleeding, the heaviness of the bleeding, it won't be as light as it used to be, at least for the first 3 to 4 days. All those things were explained. The risk of infection as well, the risk of certain infections. They explained a lot of things. So I thought, okay, these things I can deal with. As long as my hormones are not touched, I can absolutely deal with. So January, February, March, my IUD come, they do whoa, started showing some I don't arrive. This is me now. I gave you some break. I started having, which I've shared it, at some point on this channel. I started having candida infection, and I was like, okay, they said this would happen. There is a risk to have, candida infection and all that. I didn't have a problem with it. I started treating. I used the insert, and I made my husband know about, you know, the infection and all. So why am I making this video then? Why am I here? April, I missed my period for the first time since inserting this IUD. I said for 6 weeks I didn't see my period. I was worried because I was told that since this is a non-hormonal IUD, there's no risk of you getting pregnant. In fact, there's no risk of your menstruation cycle, your menstrual cycle altering. It wasn't looking normal. In fact, since April until now, things have totally been abnormal. I was worried. I did a pregnancy test. It didn't show me positive, it didn't show me negative. It just, yeah, I did it like twice. We went to the hospital that April. That was the April that I took a break off of YouTube. The scare I was having that time, coupled with everything that was going on that period, it was more than enough to go offline, because I wasn't about at the peak of having 3 babies back to back, now relocating, not fully settled, now thinking of pregnancy. It was a madness. We went to the hospital, they examined me, they checked to see if the IUD has been displaced. Everything was still intact, but my period wasn't coming. It took another extra 2 weeks before my period came. That was what made me confused. Like, I was seriously confused. And since that time, my usual 28 days menstrual cycle, that's the beginning of one menstruation to the beginning of another menstruation, it used to be 28 days. Now it doesn't even have any pattern again, because I usually use my Flow app. I use an app called FLO Flow app. This video is not sponsored. I've been using it since I was 16. Since 16 years old, I've been using it to time when I'm ovulating, when I'm menstruating, all of that. So yeah, my cycle since that time until today hasn't been regular. Sometimes it enters 30, sometimes 35, sometimes more than 35, sometimes 20 something. It's been so super annoying. And nowadays, because according to the doctor, if whatsoever symptoms you have persists after 6 months to 1 year, you should think of seeing a doctor, think of, you know, other options. So I started talking about this thing to my husband. My husband was like, you know, this is normal, this is normal, this is normal, which I know they are normal, but as a woman, you know, it gets tiring. It's not just the imbalance, or would I say the irregularity with my cycle, it's the constant back-to-back candida. Like, since January until this month, I'm not going to lie to you guys, there's no month I don't do insertion. There's no month I'm not curing candida, because it's almost like so recurrent. Yes, they said there is a risk of this infection, but it's gotten to the point where I'm fed up, I'm tired. And yeah, I've thought about going to remove the IUD. I spoke to one of the doctors here. I even wanted to go to the hospital to take it out. The problem now is, here in Saudi Arabia, the availability of IUD, it depends on the city. And this hospital, according to the people that I've asked, some of the inquiries, they do not do it here. They don't insert it. So if I remove the IUD that I currently have on, the fiscal another go. So that's my fear. That's why I'm still enduring. That's why I'm still having to go through this candida brouhaha. That's why it's just been so miserable for me. Like, sex life is becoming even kind of frustrating for me. Like, for guys, I don't know. If you're a guy, you can share with me in the comment section. I don't know if it affects men the way it affects women, because if you've had candida before, this is TMI. I know, TMI. I'm going to put disclaimer TMI on the title, so that, yeah, if you can't handle it, just click out. Yeah. I don't know if as a woman, if you've experienced candida before, and if you've tried to have sex with candida, you would know how painful it can get. You would know how not comfortable, I would say, it can get. The first time ever that I ever had candida in my life was during Somjachi's pregnancy. I remember having to treat candida all through his pregnancy. All through his pregnancy, it was reoccurring. It was coming and going, coming and going. Since getting this IUD, in fact, since January until now, it just hasn't been funny with the whole candida situation. And I'm in such a dilemma that I can't consider removing this if I don't have another option, you know, to put inside me. I don't know if you guys understand, because it makes no sense if I remove this now and still have to mistakenly taken. I don't want to say mistakenly because it will be mumu. Now it will be mumu-ish to say mistakenly taken, because I mean, you don't have sex and don't expect to take in. So yeah, I'm in that dilemma right now. The bleeding is there, which I've gotten used to. I mean, I don't even use normal pads again because it's so bad that the first 3 days I have to be using Yagazi's Pampers. The person that gave me this idea was my best friend Utibe. Utibe gave me this serious idea. Since that time, it's been helpful. It helps. You just remove the wings of the Pampers and use it. It helps, because the normal pad, the whole bed will be soaked, everywhere will be soaked. It's just messy. So I started using my son's Pampers, and it's better. It's better. Even if I get soaked, or even if it gets really messy, it's just for the first day. The bleeding has definitely increased. I mean, the volume of blood has definitely increased. The first 3 days are usually my nightmare. It gets better from the 4th day until the 7th day. Cramping. Can we talk about cramping? Cramping. Oh my God. Days before my period comes, the lower back cramping that I usually have, I don't want to explain. I remember back in secondary school, I used to see girls, friends, have serious menstrual pains before they have menstruation, or even during their menstruation. I used to be like, is it this deep? I never used to expect. Even if I had cramps, it was bearable. I could go to school, and some people, they won't be able to do anything. They will just lie down. It's now that I'm understanding that pain, because the whole of my back would be aching, and I never used to have this prior to this IUD. But with this IUD, the lower back pain before I get my period is worsened. The candida back-to-back infection, I'm tired and fed up of it at this point. What we're currently considering is looking to see if there are cities close by that we can get this IUD, you know, some options. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. Or probably just take this out and just rely solely on condoms. At the same time, it's just, I don't want that mistake or hearing, oh, I'm pregnant. I can't. I don't want to try again. I don't want to get pregnant again. I don't want to do it again. The reason why I even chose the 10 years copper IUD, I didn't want to think of pregnancy again until God knows. Even before the 10 years reaches, the plan was to remove and renew. But with these whole symptoms in this first year, I'm tired, I'm fed up, it's exhausting. This year has been crazy. It's been crazy with this IUD, and I know that there are people who would comment and say the copper IUD has been really good for them. I have friends who have this copper IUD and they have no issues at all, but I'm like, my body is not accepting it at this point. So yeah, I just thought to update you guys, for those of you who keep asking what's the update on your IUD, what's the update, I want to get one. This is my personal experience, and it's not funny, it's exhausting, like I said. And yeah, for now we're still looking around to see the options that we have. But if this persists until December and we still don't have any option, I'll be forced to take it out and just rely on push and pull. Oh god, no. But let's just see how it goes. Yeah, share with me in the comment section, can you relate? Have you ever had this copper IUD? What IUD do you have? Which one are you considering? With all these things you've heard, are you considering, you know, any form of contraceptive? Let me know. If you live in Kurayat and you feel like there are places here that can help me, also let me know. Send me an email. All my details are in the description area below. Having said that, give this video a massive thumbs up, subscribe down below, and hopefully I am going to see you guys in my next one. For now, bye bye.